Quasi here, and in this video, I want to share with you how you can reprogram your subconscious mind. I've made a lot of videos about this, but hands down, this is going to be something that's going to completely change your perception on how you view it. And from this angle that we tackle this is probably going to be one of the most effective ways of reprogramming your subconscious for most of you. Okay, so please make sure that you stick around to the very end of this video, because the concepts that I'm going to talk about in this video, it's going to take a lot of internalization, especially for those of you who are very, very logical, such as myself, and very, very analytical. Okay, by the end of this video, I'm going to share with you a two-step framework to really teach you how to reprogram your own beliefs and your subconscious mind in a way that it actually serves you rather than works against you. Before I begin this video, I want to quickly announce that a couple of spots have opened up for the free one-to-one consult with me and my team for the Reality Mastery program. Make sure you wait around till the end of the video for the announcement on that, and let's get started. So today I want to talk to you about reprogramming the subconscious mind and understanding your subconscious mind and why there are so many misconceptions about the subconscious mind. So what you got to understand is 5% of you is conscious, okay? 5% of this mind is unconscious. 95% of it, 95% consists of the subconscious, the unconscious, and the collective unconscious. Okay? So if I were to break it down, if we have something like this, you have 5% that's conscious, 5% that's conscious, and again, another 5% that's actually subconscious. So there's a misconception. When we talk about the subconscious mind, we're talking about the unconscious mind. Okay, and then we have another 5% that's subconscious. And the rest of it, the rest 90% of it, consists of the unconscious and the collective unconscious. Okay, what do I mean by that? Well, collective unconscious, it's kind of like that movie Avatar. They're all connected by the root, that tree, right? Each and every single one of us has a connection to one another. We just don't realize it consciously. But unconsciously, there's a connection. Every single person, every single living being, every single particle, every single thing that you see is connected to something in one way or the other. So when enlightened beings realize that, it just becomes ridiculous in harming another person, because you're effectively harming yourself. When you hurt someone else, you're basically hurting yourself, right? So this kind of leads me to a concept of, kind of like making money and getting rich. You could get rich by robbing someone else and stealing from someone, which would then come back to haunt you back, because we are somehow connected. But the best way to get rich is by providing someone a service. So the best way to make money, the best action to take, is always when it's a win-win scenario. David R. Hawkins talks a lot about this in his book, Power versus Force. Definitely give it a check out. Force is when you make situations win-lose, and power is when you make situations win-win. Every single decision, there's always a win-win decision. There's always a decision that's going to be win-win at the end. It doesn't matter whether or not you see it at this moment, there's always a win-win decision, right? So understand that collective unconscious consists, plus the singular unconscious, consists of 90%. Right? So with that being said, what we try to do is, we try to say that, my subconscious mind is the problem. I need to reprogram myself subconsciously. While you do have to do that, you've got to understand that you're not living subconsciously, right? You don't live subconsciously. You live unconsciously. So a more accurate way to term that would be, I need to reprogram my unconscious mind, right? So once we have that established, now we've got to understand, how do you reprogram your unconscious mind? So when people say they want to reprogram themselves, their subconscious minds, their unconscious minds, it's because they've been living in a pattern that they don't like living in. You keep doing these same things and keep hitting these same blockages and these same patterns that you don't like doing. The question becomes, how do we break out of that? You consciously are aware of what you need to do, but unconsciously you always keep doing something else, right? So the question becomes, how do we break out of that? So what I want to share with you is everything that you are right now, what we call as you right now, It's all formed by this unconscious internalization. I'm going to get to what I mean by that in a second. But this is the concept, unconscious internalization. When you've been brought up as a child, what you've been exposed to in your environment, what you've seen around you, you know, when certain events happen, maybe you got bullied when you were a child, or other traumatic events happened, what meaning you put on that has deeply rooted itself in your unconscious by this point. This is why people become very, very rigid in certain patterns, and they see certain patterns happening in their businesses, in their relationships, you know, in their marriages. People have 4 or 5 different failed marriages. They have 4 or 5 different failed businesses. And within that, there's this level of unconsciousness in it, which they're not able to see. They don't have awareness around. Even if they do have awareness around that, they don't know how to break free from it, right? So the solution that everyone has come to the conclusion to is that I must need to reprogram myself somehow. While it is true, we need to help you turn this unconscious internalization into a conscious one. Okay, the question becomes how? We're getting to that. So this brings me to the concept of what we call limiting beliefs, right? We live in a society where we function on beliefs. We will do something if it has been done before, right? If something's been done before, if 9 to 5s are the way to go, 9 to 5s work. This is a guaranteed way. Why take the risk? So society has programmed us, and we've unconsciously internalized it and accepted it to become cogs in the wheel and follow the safe path and the safe route. You go to college, spend $250,000 for an education, and then at the end of it, you're guaranteed a job. Man, I know Harvard graduates who are unemployed right now, right? All as a result of falling for that trap. Most of the time it does work, and I'm sure this system has been set up by everyone for, you know, good reason, but everything is changing now. You know, right now in society, we're going through a massive upheaval. You know, things are changing, things are moving online. If you look at entrepreneurial incomes, it's spiking up. A lot of people are waking up and starting to understand and get with the times. Again, this will become a pattern as well. Colleges will start to cater to it. These are what we call pendulums, okay? When one person follows their path, other people start to come along and follow them. Because once you get to this certain point in this pendulum, this structure, this collective unconscious structure, then other people start to follow along with you. The pendulum has no choice but to make you its star so that it can get adherence. Just like that in society, there are pendulums. The 9 to 5 pendulum, where, you know, it's societal conditioning says that you've got to do a 9 to 5 and climb up the corporate ladder, which for my whole life is what I believe to be true, right? That's why I struggled so hard in college, trying to land a job, trying to get an internship, to only find out that that's not what I really wanted. So when do limiting beliefs come into play? Limiting beliefs come into play when you want to do something, but your beliefs don't match that worldview, right? This is what's happening. This is a boundary created by your beliefs. You want to move here. You want to move from this point to this point. But to move from this point to this point, your paradigm and your worldview has got to become like this. Okay? But right now, they're like this. So let me color this in. So this is LB1, and let's call this LB2. Your limiting beliefs have to expand out, or your beliefs have to expand out rather. What I want you to understand is that every single belief will eventually become a limitation. Every single belief that you have will eventually become a limiting belief. Every single identity that you embody will eventually become a limitation. The key is to never become rigid in a limiting belief, but to learn to become more and more flexible based on what life requires from you. Okay? This is very, very important. This is something that I had to learn the hard way. So to give you an example, I went from 9 to 5s are the only way to go. Or just get a good job and you'll be set for life. You're done. Just get a nice, good, cushy engineering job and you'll be good. Went to internships. I was like, wow, shit, this shit sucks. I don't want to end up 60 years old trying to kill myself doing something that I know I sold my soul for. I want to do something that I want to do. Why can't I do that? Guess what? Because of this. You can't do it because you're not XYZ. You're not Elon Musk. You're not Jeff Bezos. You're not this, this, and this, and you can't do it. All of those are true, but those are true in a good sense. You're seeing those are true in a limiting sense, right? Why can't you be you? Why can't I be quasi? Why can't I be quasi and be the entrepreneur, right? So we don't start to see those things. We start to see more of what's not rather than what is. Because of this, right? Because of how the unconscious mind has been molded up until this point. If you were raised in an entrepreneurial society, it would be a little bit easier for you to get into entrepreneurship. Not fully. It would still be a lot easier than if you were in a society where 9 to 5s are the only way to go. There's a lot more work to do in that sense. So every single belief becomes limiting, and the key is to not function within beliefs at all. So the question becomes, what do you function within? And this is where the concept of faith comes in. Okay? What do I rate this? Faith. My favorite word. Why? Faith gives a big middle finger to beliefs. See, what happens with belief is they occur in the mind. You have a belief about something because of how you've experienced it up until this point. And you've agreed to certain conditions, you've sort of seen life be like this, and so you've formed this model, this intellectual model of reality. Faith does not function within the realm, the limited realm of the mind. It goes to the infinite realm of the heart. Faith says, I don't know how it will happen, but I have faith that somehow it will. I don't care how I'm going to get away from the 9 to 5 and do something that I want and get that freedom. Somehow something will work out. You just trust. Faith is... So in yoga, there are different aspects to it. There is jnana yoga, which reflects the mind and the intellect. There is bhakti yoga, which is devotion, more faith. There is kriya yoga, which is more attaining enlightenment through internal energy. And there is karma yoga, more through the action. You've got to have a healthy balance of all of those in order to attain enlightenment. Right? But you pick one predominant way to get to enlightenment. So there are 4 different sectors of yoga. There are your emotions, your thoughts, your energy, and your actions. Okay? These 4 are the different ways in which to attain enlightenment, to influence your reality. Most people have this faith aspect missing. Faith is what causes this leap from this paradigm and this worldview to this one. Why I say that every single belief becomes limiting is because I went from a limiting belief of 9 to 5s are the only way to go. That's all I can do. That's my subconscious, my unconscious has been programmed with that. 2, I can be an entrepreneur, but only make 5K a month from it. Not much more than that. Right? So that became a limiting identity for me. And that's why I was struggling at that limited place. And because of that, I couldn't break out to the 20K months that I wanted to make. So now I'm here and my limiting belief is 5K a month is only possible. Life coaches can't make more than that. I haven't seen someone in personal development with a personal development business do more than that. And then I thought about Tony Robbins and I was like, shit, if that guy can do it, why can't I? My worldview expands a little bit. My mind starts to see it a little bit. My beliefs shift a little bit. But forward movement still doesn't happen. Oh, that's Tony Robbins. It's not me. I'm not Tony Robbins. Faith. Somehow I'll be able to do it. Somehow I'll get to those 20K months. Guess what happens? August 2019, 20K month. Great. Faith works. Now the mind sees, oh yeah, 20K months are doable. Now my limiting beliefs are at 20K months. I want to get to 100K months. limiting belief? You can only do 20K months. No one's doing 100K months. No one goes from 20 to 100K months so quick. Nobody. Nobody ever. Faith. Somehow I'll get there. I don't know how yet. It's not visible to me how I'll get there, but somehow I will. Trust. 3 months later, January 2020, 100K month. All of your limiting beliefs get shattered. When you start to crush all of your goals, you set goals for yourself. You have faith that somehow you'll find a way, or you'll keep at it until you do find a way. You just shatter all of these limiting beliefs and you start to see past the bullshit that beliefs keep you stuck in. Beliefs just help you maintain what you already have. Now, what happens is when you start to see proof of this happening over and over and over again, your mind all of a sudden becomes your friend, right? So now I don't have a limiting belief anymore, but now my limiting belief is that even my belief itself is that somehow I'll get there. Now I can intellectually see that faith is a real thing. You see, I'm intellectualizing faith now. This is what's happening. My belief now is that faith will get me there. I just need to rely on faith. I just need to have faith that somehow it'll happen. Somehow the 300K months will happen. Maybe it's not showing up for me right now, but somehow it'll happen. So this is how you get in touch with both the emotions and the thoughts. When there is a unity and a harmony between the thoughts you have and the emotions that you feel, it has a direct effect on your unconscious mind. So think about every single experience that you've had in the past. All of those traumatic experiences, you've attached a certain emotion to them. When you attach this emotion to it, that event that happened and the thought that you perceived that event with, and also the emotion that you attached to that thought, it rooted itself in your unconscious. So to give an example, a lot of people with the aspect of failed businesses, they're like, oh, I can't have failed businesses. They feel intense pain. They feel emotional pain. Oh, I can't have businesses. I can't have successful businesses, rather. I'm not able to have successful businesses. I'm only worthy of the failed businesses. I'm only worthy of the failed marriages. I'm not good enough. I'm broken. Their self-image changes. And it becomes very, very difficult to break out of it. There's a whole system to help you consciously get from that point to where you want to get to. That's exactly what we do in Reality Mastery, helping people shift at the very, very core in how they view themselves, their self-image and their identity, right? But what happens is because the realization doesn't occur, the click never happens. It's all about the realization. Like everything that I share here, anything that was ever taught about personal development, the Buddha talked about it 3,000 years ago. Nothing's ever new. It's just about from what angle it hits you with. This is why when you pick a mentor, it's so key that you resonate with them. Because if you don't resonate with them and their material, you won't be receptive and you won't accept it. When you're receptive, you accept. So what I want to really leave you off with is at first, you're going to have these limiting beliefs. And limiting beliefs we're going to define as when your beliefs don't match your desire. Incongruence between beliefs and desires. When there is an incongruence between what you believe to be true and what you actually truly want to experience, that's when you have a limiting belief. What makes a jump between, so let's call these your paradigms. What makes a paradigm shift happen is faith. Faith is the mechanism that helps you move from one paradigm to the next. But here's the key thing. Once you switch your paradigms, you never lose the old paradigm. You don't just throw it away. You encapsulate it and ingrain it in this new paradigm. Okay? Your past paradigm actually becomes a part of your new paradigm. It's like expanding these circles, right? You're expanding your own boundaries of what you believe to be true. And in that sense, if you can suspend belief when you're moving from one paradigm to the other, that's what helps you make that jump, right? What beliefs help you do is they help you maintain the level of performance that you are at. If I want to keep doing 100K months, the belief can help me do that. If I've made 100K month before, but I've come down, the belief can help me get back to that. The belief just helps you get your mind on board, right? When your mind is on board, it stops resisting, and then you have a harmony between your thoughts and emotions. But what you got to do is tap into that emotion itself. That's the difficult part for most people. Because their mind is not on board, it doesn't allow them to reach their hearts. Because your mind is the gateway to your heart. The mind is like the parent, and the heart is like the child, the innocent child who wants everything. I want this, I want that, right? But the mind says, oh, you can't have it because we don't believe it's true. You can't have it because it's not possible from your current worldview, right? So there is a difference between faith and belief. Faith is what helps you jump from one paradigm to the other. Beliefs are what help you maintain that paradigm, right? In order to reprogram your unconscious mind, there must be a harmony between your beliefs and your faith, your thoughts and your emotion. When there is agreement in your thought and your emotion, it makes a speck in your unconscious. It now gets ingrained in your unconscious. Now you believe that it is possible. You can do it, right? So let's talk about the 3 keys to help you do this, okay? What I'm going to share with you in these 2 keys, not 3 keys, 2 keys is going to be very, very important. Please pay close attention to this. I'm going to try my best to clarify it to the best of my ability, right? So in order to reprogram your unconscious mind completely, here is the concept of assume and ground. Right? This is what we're going to call it, assume and ground. You step into the image, you create the image first, and then you step into it. So first you assume. Assume possibility. Whatever it is you want, you learn to, if you start to see that you have blockages and limiting beliefs around them, let them be. Do not fight them, do not resist them. The more you can do, the more you resist them, the more you feed them, the stronger it gets. The best thing you can do is just accept them for what they are and understand that this is the limited paradigm of the mind. For you to experience a new tomorrow, it need not have existed in the past. This is the limited thinking of the mind. It says that, because it hasn't happened in the past, it can't happen tomorrow. That's bullshit. Something completely different can happen tomorrow. Assume the possibility that it will happen, that somehow it will happen. This is how you tap into faith. Somehow it will happen. Have faith first and then belief will follow. In that order. Faith and then belief. Faith comes, you move forward with the assumption, belief follows. I think this is also called the law of assumption. I think maybe Neville Goddard talked about this, but I'm not sure. But assume the possibility of whatever it is you want will happen. So to give you an example, I wouldn't have persisted in my efforts if I didn't assume possibility that I could somehow get to 20K a month in my business. I could somehow have a 100K a month business. This might not be the right business, but I have faith that the right opportunities will show up for me at the right time. The biggest problem is most people don't have trust in their realities. They have a crooked relationship with their realities. They think reality is cruel. They think life is cruel, but it's not. Life is only cruel if you view it that way. Life is very moldable. It's inanimate, right? You can influence an inanimate object the way you'd want it. So assume possibility that whatever you want can happen. It can happen. You just assume it. You don't have to believe it. Don't believe it at all. I didn't believe I could do 100K months within 11 months of starting my business. Not at all. I didn't even think about it. Somehow it just happened. So assume possibility that it will happen. Step 2, persist in your efforts. In efforts that are congruent to assumption. What do I mean by that? Assumption. Oh. Okay, so you persist in the efforts that are congruent to this assumption you've made. You've made the assumption that somehow you're going to make 20K a month from your coaching business online, right? Now you go out there, you try to reach out to clients and they give you the no, the thumbs down, and you make YouTube videos, you don't get traction, so you get demoralized and demotivated. Screw all of that, let them be. Somehow it's going to happen. You persist in those efforts anyways. You do what this version of you would have been doing. You do what the 20K a month version of you would do. This is identity shifting. You create. So this first stage is creating the image. Right? You're creating the image. When you make an assumption, you create the image of what you would like to experience and who you would like to be. Then you act in accordance with that version, that image you've created. By doing that, you're embellishing the image. And whenever anything happens that sort of confirms that it is possible, number 3, confirm. Confirm possibility. If you persist in faith and you just do what's necessary, you will see that life will just start to throw opportunities at you. Because again, reality is inanimate, it's moldable. So now it will start to throw opportunities your way, which will start to lead to the confirmation of that. Because whatever you're looking for, you will find. Please remember that. With reality, whatever you're looking for, you will find. If you keep looking for limiting beliefs, you'll find 1,000,001 of them. If you keep looking for why you are good enough, you'll find 1,000,001 of them. You just have to look, and really look intently. So assume possibility, create this image, persist in effort, congruent in assumption, you embellish image, confirm possibility once any little thing happens. Let's say you make a YouTube video and it gets a lot of views. Oh my God, it's happening. This is contributing to the 20K months that I'm going to get to. You reach out to a client who's potentially interested in your service. Oh my God, it's happening. This might just be my first client. Somehow it's going to happen. Even if not, if this person's interested, then chances are other people are going to be interested as well. I could find more people like this. Or, oh no, I've gotten 2 clients in the past. Somehow it can happen again. I've done it before, I know I can do it again. Right? You confirm possibility and this completes the image. And this marks the completion of that cycle where this becomes a part of you now. Okay? This gets ingrained in your unconscious mind. If you want to see more detail about this, I urge you to actually click up here and check this video out on how to completely reprogram your subconscious mind. There's a whole cycle, the self-reprogramming cycle that goes with it. But with that, I conclude this video. Thank you so much for watching. I sincerely hope this was helpful. Let's recap what we talked about. I want you to watch this video again and again and again. Okay, please at least watch it 2 times because this truly was the game changer for me. And all of these revelations, they're coming to me now. You know, I look back at it and what really made the difference because I'm always thinking about how to get my clients better results, how to get you guys better results. And this was it. Right? This was one big key how I reprogram myself from jumping from one paradigm and one worldview. Because you look back at the past and you're like, wow, I was a completely different person then. If I went back then, I wouldn't recognize who I was then. I was the kind of person who was pinching pennies. I would take like 20, 30 days to make a decision to help my business move forward instead of taking faith. So the biggest difference that's happened between me when I was there, making 20K a month and me now is I went from taking a really long time to double down on decisions that would help me move my life, my business, and my relationships and everything forward. It would take me a very long time to double down on that decision because I was very, very mind-centric, very analytical. Now I'm more faith-based in that I just trust that somehow it's going to happen. So I make quick decisions and I never look back. I always look forward, right? That was the biggest change that has happened. If a couple of people were asking me, what's the big difference that you've seen in who you are? That will be it. So to recap, what we talked about was understanding the difference between the conscious, unconscious, subconscious, and the collective unconscious. 10% of you is conscious and subconscious, 90% of you is unconscious. Okay? How you've unconsciously internalized all of these events that have happened in your life, all of these events that have happened in the past, and what meaning you've put onto it determines who you are now. If you got bullied in the past, what meaning did you put onto that? You had a thought about that, you had an emotion that you attached to that, and together they've come in unity and have rooted themselves into your unconscious. And the big thing we uncovered today was understanding limiting beliefs. And what we term limiting beliefs is when you have a desire, but your desire is nowhere in line with who you've conditioned to be and what your beliefs have been conditioned to be. And you live predominantly in your beliefs. So when it's not in the belief of how the world should be, then you don't do it. Then you say, oh no, it's not possible. And because you say it's not possible, your reticular activating system, your RAS in the subconscious mind, it filters out for the opportunities for why it could be possible and why it is possible. So the right opportunities don't even show up for you. This is why when we help people get clarity in the Reality Mastery Program, the right opportunities that are under their noses this whole time that just didn't show up for them, that are invisible to them because they're not receptive to them, they now become receptive to them because they know what they're looking for, right? So there's that. Limiting beliefs is when you have an incongruence between your belief and desire. And we talked about shifting to different paradigms from paradigm 1 to paradigm 2. When you expand your worldview and your paradigm, you encapsulate the old paradigm within that. 9 to 5 quasi to entrepreneur quasi, 20K a month quasi. 20K a month quasi to 100K a month quasi. All of those beliefs are encapsulated within that. What makes this jump happen is faith. Okay? The mind just needs proof, and that's why it relies on belief. If you keep functioning within the realm of the mind, it'll be a very sad existence. Because now you'll just be limited to what's happened in the past and what other people can do. Innovation will never come to you. You'll never tap into the place of creativity. And now, let's recap the 3 keys. So the 3 keys are as follows. To really make this reprogramming happen in your unconscious mind, to really help you get to that belief level that you want to get to, first it must begin with faith. How does that happen? You just assume the possibility that somehow what you want is possible. It's already out there. You just got to make the choice. When you do that, you create this image. You form this image that's incomplete. When you persist in efforts that are congruent with that assumption, you start to embellish this image a little bit. You know, you add some details, you make it look a little bit nicer. When you confirm possibility, this completes this image. So in the beginning, you begin with faith and you end with belief. David R. Hawkins talks about this. He calls it the morphogenetic field, the M field, in his book, Power versus Force, when Roger Bannister broke the first 4-minute mile. Prior to that, it was believed that no human being can ever do a 4-minute mile. Roger Bannister broke that record. After that, high schoolers started to do 4-minute miles. Why? Roger Bannister persisted on faith. He created a new morphogenetic field, new paradigm. Please remember this. He created a new paradigm for humanity. This is the place of true innovation. You wonder why Jeff Bezos can do and Elon Musk can do things like this. They persist on faith. If you ask people like Jeff Bezos when they make big business decisions, if they know it will work, they will probably say, no, I don't know it'll work. I'm just trying it out. I'm just testing it. That's what you got to keep in mind. With that, I conclude this video. Thank you so much for watching. I sincerely hope this was helpful. If you're new to the channel, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that little bell there so you're notified of any new video that I put out. And also, I'm super excited to announce, as I mentioned before, the free one-to-one consult with me and my team for the Reality Mastery Program is now open. Make sure you click on the link in the description below to sign up for that. And let's see if we can help you take your life to the next level. Who we typically work with are as follows. People who are professionals, first of all. They're really looking to transition out, start up their own businesses, something that gives them time, financial, location freedom. And what they're seeing is they've tried out all the different business opportunities, affiliate marketing, drop shipping, Amazon FBA, real estate investing, nothing ever sticks. They don't get the results that they want. They're unconsciously programmed to experience the lack, the 9-to-5 and the employee mindset. That's what they keep returning back to. The same thing with the entrepreneurs that we work with. They're stuck at 5K, 10K, even 20K months. They can't scale up. Even if they do scale up, they always self-sabotage and return back to that original level. And what's happening is it was never a business, tactical, or strategic problem, but rather an internal one. Who they are is only worthy of the 5, 10, 20K months. That's what they keep returning back to. People who are high performers, creatives as well. And if that sounds like you, I invite you to click on this link below to sign up, and let's see how we can help out. Also, a free Facebook group is open for you to take advantage of. The link for that is also in the description. Please make sure if you're applying for this group, fill up the 3 questions, otherwise we can't accept your request. This is a very, very highly moderated group. We want to keep the quality as best as possible and make sure we're letting the right kinds of people in. Okay? Thank you so much for watching. Till next time. Peace.